Well, that, I think, was a very entertaining football game. I think it was two equally matched teams. I don't know what anybody thought coming in, but it was obviously physically two equally matched teams that played hard, made some mistakes, made some plays, and one team's happy and one team's not.
Rocky, can you talk about the end of the second quarter and start of the third, second week in a row where things, 2 TDs? Is that just a coincidence that it's 2 weeks in a row, or is there something more to that?
I hope that's not a trend. I mean, obviously, when you do it, it happens to you 2 weeks in a row, you start to wonder a little bit. I mean, the biggest mistake we made was fumbling the ball. That's the biggest mistake. And then they throw up, like everybody would, they throw up kind of a Hail Mary pass, and our DB falls down, trips and falls flat on his face, and it's an easy touchdown. We blitzed them on the long run right after halftime. We had them in second and long, and we blitzed and had a guy sitting in the hole to make the tackle, and he didn't make the tackle. And then the guy outran everybody. I mean, that's football. That's the way football works.
How about how things unfolded late? Did you think you'd be able to keep them out of the end, or keep them from getting that time field goal, or what was kind of the thought process as things were winding down?
Well, I mean, they did some nice scheming things that took advantage of our defense running the ball, which made us late in the game take a few more chances in coverage, and we had some really bad mental errors in the coverage area of things, and some guys got wide open. I mean, I thought we stopped them. I mean, if we make a field goal right at the end that we miss, I mean, it's a nice job. You make a 55-yard field goal, that's something special, but then you miss a 30-yarder, and that allows them to put it into overtime. I mean, it was 4th and 8 or something. They might have made it. They might have scored a touchdown and won the game. Who knows? But at 4th and 8, and they have to go for it, the defense has some advantages then. But they could kick a field goal and put it into overtime instead of having to go for 4th and 8.
Anything else for Coach?
Second quarter, you guys were pretty explosive. What's it take to kind of find that consistency where that's?
I don't know. Obviously, we're not a very good football team right now, and probably the two things that we do the absolute worst is we're so inconsistent on offense. I mean, it's staggering how inconsistent we are on offense, mostly to the not very good. But even when we get some rhythm going, somehow we mess it up. And on defense, at times we do some pretty good things, but the last 2 weeks we've given up way too many big plays, some of it because of poor tackling and some of it because terrible assignment errors in the secondary. Now, one big play we gave up, the DB fell down. I think he stepped on the heel of the receiver and fell down. I mean, that stuff will happen, but some of the others were guys not going in the right places.
How did you feel about Maxwell Smith's play tonight?
I thought he was just like the whole offense. I thought he was very inconsistent. I thought he had some moments so he looked pretty good, and he had some moments he looked like he didn't belong out there.
Is that throwing back open next week, or stay with it?
No, I think he's their starting quarterback. I mean, it is what it is. You can't trade for another one and all that. You gotta play who you got.
What do you think the turning point of the game was?
Oh, I think there were several. I mean, when you have a game that goes back and forth and ends up in overtime, there's several. The first turning point was fumbling right before halftime with 28 seconds to go. And that's probably a decent call. I mean, it's not a bad – people might complain about the call, but it's not a bad call. You hand a draw, and if the draw pops, then you think about maybe trying to go down and score. If the draw doesn't pop, you take a knee and run the clock out. Well, the running back fumbled it. Well, now everybody in the world's going to go in there with 15 or 18 seconds, whatever it was, and they're going to throw it in the end zone and see if they can get lucky. Well, they got lucky we didn't because our DB fell down. I mean, there's luck involved in this too now. mean, I thought both teams physically were pretty similar, and both teams played really hard. Not as exceptionally good. Neither side played exceptionally good, but that's what makes it a very close game.
How big of a factor was it to not have Chick out there?
I don't know. There's no way to tell.
Does it still trouble you, though, that when you're discussing a game that was tight because no team could play exceptional for any long stretch of time? Is it troubling, though, when that team you're talking about is that particular team from that conference, from that area, from that degree? Is that a troubling point?
Well, I think that's a media problem. Your perception of who they are. That's your fault. That's not my fault. Your preconceived idea on who people are, that's a big problem with the media. I mean, I think I saw Arkansas lost to Toledo. I mean, gee whiz, Toledo's got football players on scholarship too. You know, they got 85 guys on scholarship too. These guys have 85 guys on scholarship, and they recruit in the area of the country that has football's a religion. Did you not think they were going to have good players? That's not my fault. That's your fault for not checking them out. They were really good last year. They were in a bowl game and picked up 9 guys off a UAB team that was in a bowl game too. That's not my fault. That's your fault for the wrong perception.
What did Lawyer Mills show you? You hadn't seen that to this point.
Well, I mean, we haven't done very well on punt returns until he got to do it. Now, he was our punt returner last year, but he's been hurt. He's had things wrong with his legs all the way up until, and I'm not sure he's 100% now, but he's fairly close. So he did some nice things with the ball in his hand, but there's 10 other guys out there that did some nice things, giving him some seams to run in too. So I thought that actually changed the momentum in our favor in the second quarter. And then the fumble changed the momentum in their favor right before halftime. And then the long run changed the momentum right back to their favor right after halftime started. And then it went back and forth, and then we got a little momentum when we kick a 55-yard field goal and we go down and score. We have a little momentum. And then we miss a field goal, and guess what? We miss a field goal, the momentum goes back in their favor. They drive it down. We get them 4th and 8. They make a field goal, go to overtime. You get into overtime, and then I think both teams have the equal chance to win.